over. Groans. That's just
The greatest conference in the country is showing out tonight, gentlemen. I cannot believe it. That is the greatest high school football game.
Thank you so much for being with us tonight. It's Tuesday. That means this is the WCAC Spectacular. On behalf of First Amendment Sports, I'm Ken Marangolo. Tim Strachan's not here tonight. We miss him. He's going to be back. Filling two pairs of shoes tonight is Kevin Ricca.
Well, if you're looking for some personality, some positive energy, and just a great conversation, it's not going to happen with Ken and I tonight.
Nope.
But I can assure you, we have a guest that's going to check all those boxes.
We absolutely do. It's going to be an awesome night, a fun family WCAC lifer night, as we all are, as we all wish to someday be. But first, let's do this little something we call Around the League. Brought to you by Lido Pizza, starting out in Alexandria, Virginia. Congratulations to Bishop Ireton's Elizabeth Hutchison. The soccer player was awarded a scholarship from the Mount Vernon Lee Chamber of Commerce, presented by alum Mike Bennett of Oarsman Auto Group. Way to go, Elizabeth. Go get him next year. How about this? An awesome day at Gonzaga High School. That's college high school, Kevin. And an awesome tradition, unique and rare. Father Planning, Gonzaga's president, awarded the first African-American graduate of Gonzaga, that's John Gabriel Smith, class of 54, an honorary doctorate. Now, not only is this an amazing testament to Gabe Smith's character, but it's a pretty awesome fact we learned about Gonzaga. It's still legally incorporated as a college. Kevin, it makes so much sense now. Some of those losses we took to Gonzaga in high school, we were playing against college kids.
Well, I went to St. John's College High School, so I have nothing bad to say about Mr. Gabe Smith on this evening,
That's
my
right.
friend. That's very impressive.
Awesome job, Gabe. Awesome job, Gonzaga. Over in Hyattsville, where DeMatha senior Jordan Hawkins named the Gatorade Maryland Player of the Year. Kevin, we got the chance to see his tape again of that WCAC championship at American. Even with Earl Timberlake and Hunter Dickinson on the floor, even as a youngster, he stood out.
Longer than Mr. Fantastic and way smoother.
Good luck, Jordan. Best of luck at the next level. Speaking of next level, over in Chantilly, Virginia, Mr. Smiles himself, PVI senior Trevor Keels, named the Gatorade Virginia Player of the Year. I know my man Kevin here is excited to see the Duke-bound WCAC stud in action next season in front of a full house at Cameron Indoor.
His first year of college basketball, Mike Krzyzewski's last. Coach K goes on the award tour with a Paul VI backcourt. Can't wait for 2021.
Coach K, Player K. How about Mr. 300 over in Chantilly, Virginia? PVI baseball head coach Billy Emerson snapping up wins 299 and 300. The doubleheader sweep of Bishop Ireton. This is Coach Emerson's second stint with the Panthers as he becomes one of 4 active skippers in Virginia to reach 300 wins. Congratulations, Coach.
Well done. That's a lot of dubs.
Over on Military Road, former St. John's standout running back Keelan Robinson on the move, as we like to see him be. This time transferring from Alabama to the University of Texas, following his former Alabama offensive coordinator Steve Sarkisian to the Lone Star State. Look out for number 2 this fall.
Sark actually packed him with the luggage. There's no reason I didn't think he was going to get plenty of run at Alabama. Steve Sarkisian knows how to throw the ball to the running back out of the backfield. Keep an eye on that down in the Lone Star State, baby.
Over in Forestville, Maryland, former McNamara girls basketball standout Jakia Brown Turner, class of 19, named to represent the United States in the 2021 USA Women's AmeriCup team, competing in San Juan, Puerto Rico. We've been pulling for JBT from Forestville all the way to Raleigh, where she stars for the NC State Wolfpack. But we'll all take special pride as she suits up for the greatest home team in the world. Good luck, Jakia.
Outstanding.
How about over in Bladensburg, where the Road Runners, maybe just the Runners, getting after it last Saturday, trying to catch some cadets. St. John's took first in boys and girls, just narrowly edging Elizabeth Seton on the girls' side, but not before the Road Runners snagged 11 first-place finishes, including 2 each for Spencer Settle, Nia Crawford, and 3 for Nia Lindsay. Awesome job. Awesome job, Roadrunners. Great job, Seton. And great job, as always, to our awesome friends and sponsors of Around the League, Lido Pizza. At Lido Pizza, they are square because they do not cut corners. And I'll tell you someone who has never cut a corner ever, and that's going to be our guest tonight, someone who is very special to our entire community. And we have big smiles on our faces because we've been trying to get this guest for a while, and it's an awesome, awesome night. 16th year as the athletic director at Elizabeth Seton, where she did graduate in a year that we're just not gonna throw numbers out there all the way. We'll get to it. Multi-sport athlete. That's a big deal. We talk about this all the time. Played ball at Winthrop University in South Carolina. Stayed there as a graduate assistant coach. Made her way all over D1 as a coach, not just for Winthrop, but also Georgia Tech. Also, my alma mater, Loyola University now, as well as the Mount. Please welcome to the show a WCAC lifer, someone who's been giving back to her school and our community for years and years. Miss Candy Cage, welcome to the show.
Oh, you guys, thank you so much for having me. I think when you say lifer, Ken, that just means old, right?
No.
We're lifers.
Hey, we're all
and we're
lifers.
very young, I promise.
It's a way of life. It's a way of lifer.
That's way better. That's way
Make
better.
that a little bit easier for me, Kevin. I appreciate you. No, thank you guys for having me. It's a great show, and you know how I feel about this league and these kids. So you guys do a great job for us. Thank you.
Well, it's our pleasure, and I think getting to know folks like you has been one of the coolest parts about us getting to do this, Candy. And so let's just go back a year for right now. Don't worry, we're going back much farther than that before we get out of here tonight. But we'll go back a year, and you're scrambling. The world's upside down. You're trying to keep it together for your alma mater, for your coaches, for your sense of community, and it wasn't easy. Yet another, Kevin, as we talk about a different jurisdiction, a different county, all these schools have a different set of rules that they have to follow, and you had the same set of rules as my alma mater in PG County at Bishop McNamara. So, take us through a little bit of, and maybe we'll call it, the good, the positive. What came out of this that, looking back, you're thinking to yourself, man, if this is what I had to go through to get this, okay.
Yeah, guys, you hit it on the head. It was difficult. Everything shut down, and the kids, especially the seniors, were crushed. We were doing a lot of virtual things. We were trying to meet with them weekly. We were doing challenges among our teams. Strength and conditioning things. We were playing even crazy games, on in the chat and anything to keep them engaged because they had lost their seasons. My coaches really did an outstanding job. But Ken, the unique thing about the WCAC, we're in DC, Maryland, Virginia, and we're in so many different counties. So we were meeting regularly. The ADs were awesome. And we were all trying to figure out a way to safely have our kids come onto campus and participate in some type of activity. And so we were all following different guidelines, the CDC, Prince George's County, and then we would call a school in Montgomery County and they'd say, oh, well, we can't do that, and da-da-da. So it was exhausting, but we finally got our kids out on the field and in the gym, and we were able to play a shortened, fall, spring, and winter season. So the parents were exceptionally grateful. I think sportsmanship was at an all-time high, and I don't ever really want to go back to where we were, but I think it was interesting to see when kids had sports taken away, guys, that they were so grateful. And normally, when Bishop McNamara or St. John's, two of our big rivals, we're competing against, there's not a lot of, sometimes it's tight, and tough, and people are growling. But this year it was like people would pick somebody up or they would commend a great play. And it was fascinating to watch. So the sportsmanship, even among the coaches, was at an all-time high. And I'm really hoping that if we can take that away from this seasons that we had and the ones we lost, I'm hoping we can roll the sportsmanship back into the fall for the next year.
Well, we lost. We didn't just lose. We lost a lot, obviously, but we lost the opportunity to defend or like to get back to a championship game on the soccer field. I know that was that year was it for us when we out of February when basketball ended. That it was over for us. But we got that fall season in 2 falls ago, and I just remember we had a chance to talk to Dave. On the sidelines at Catholic and the Seton community. At First Amendment Sports, we get a chance to cover, championships, and we go to the playoffs and we see all these schools, and getting an opportunity to cover the Roadrunners and that girls soccer final was really cool because of the community that Seton brings when they show up to games. And I wanted to ask you a little bit about that because I had a little bit of a taste of it when I got to work with you. When we were trying to connect coaches and families ahead of last year, season, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Such a big part of Seton is the spirit and the sense of community that goes on there, and that's always been the case. How did you keep it together? What are some things you guys were able to do to kind of carry that through such a hard year?
Yeah, you're right about Seton, Ken. There's something about the all-girls school. It's really prideful, and there's a tremendous sisterhood, and the kids turn out like it's very there are teams, and I love the guys. We do a lot with DeMatha, our brother school, and my kids go to all the other schools for the co-ed things. But when Seton's playing a game, they turn out. So last fall, when you guys were doing the championship, we were playing Good Counsel in soccer. Mm-hmm. And I mean, our alums from, the early 2000s heard we had made it back to the finals, and they all went to Catholic. It was so cool to see them. And you get that at the all girls school. And I tell you, we blasted. Our teachers were going crazy, teaching from home and managing their families and working, et cetera. And so we live streamed as many events as we could, and our faculty was very appreciative. They logged in and actually watched our games, even though we couldn't have fans, and that was kind of cool because I think some of our faculty, got to see the kids in action even when school was closed. But yeah, I'm telling you, it was weird playing a girls' basketball game against your alma mater with no fans because normally when we play BMAC, the fire marshals come in and give me a hard time. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. It was weird. It was weird.
Well, we know what kind of job Dave did with that team this season. But I didn't want to let it go without saying that. I know you guys at Seton consider DeMatha your brother's school. At McNamara, we consider DeMatha our sister school. So it's very similar dynamic that we have between there.
You're going there because Tim's not here
Exactly.
tonight.
Exactly.
He would have been in my court. We would have ganged up on you two. He and I made the right decisions. DeMatha and Seton.
I didn't want to let that go, and I also didn't want to let that go without making sure we talk about our main man, Dave. You talk about those matchups with Bishop McNamara and the ability to have the game first and foremost, and to be able to give the kids a chance to be to play between those whistles. But what an awesome job he did! Obviously, so many of your coaches gutting it through, just an amazing experience, But kudos, he is our guy, and we do love him and support him. And man, he made us all proud this year.
Yeah, and Dave's a great guy, and I know you guys. I told you guys about Regina Walton. We just had the Gatorade Player of the Year, which is super awesome for our school and our program. And this kid, I mean, she plays in the band. She's National Honor Society. She is a rock star kid. I mean, any college that gets Regina is going to be very lucky. But the Gatorade Player of the Year, that's such a really neat thing for our school, and that's a credit to Dave. He's been doing a really good job. And it's interesting. We, McNamara didn't play many games, but we recognize in our community this league, you try to beat up on each other and you all want to win a championship. But when your backs are up against the wall, it's interesting that McNamara was, we played them twice. We did a home and home, and many schools didn't do any of that, but we recognized the tradition and the rivalry, and it was nice for our kids. And like I said, we all streamed the game so our families could see them. And but the league is like that. This whole league is, guys, when I was coaching in college, there was never ever a year that I wasn't recruiting from this league, ever. I mean, it's just amazing how talented all the teams are. But the girls side is just outstanding. We know about the boys, but when you start digging into the girls, it's just from top to bottom. These kids are tremendous student athletes, and it's a credit to this whole league. And I have unbelievable coaches. Guys, listen, me. It's amazing I can get out of my own way. I just hire really good people, and I get to work with great people that support athletics, and I just try to get out of the way. I have super outstanding coaches, and they make me look good every day.
Except in golf, where you are obviously.
Yeah, that's tragic. I got a freshman that can hit the ball further than me right now, and it's sad.
But it's more like it's spiritual guy. I mean, a golf coach. I mean, you got to be able to play golf before you show up on the course to play. Your job is more like you're like a guru, and that's the way I was told by your staff.
This is what the kids look forward to: playing against myself and a couple of the faculty on the very last practice that we ever have, and seeing if they can win. They could care less about everything else. They just want to beat me. And we had a really good golfer a few years back, Lauren Artis. She's outstanding. And freshman year, I beat her. Sophomore year, I beat her. Junior year, I cheated a little bit because she would probably have beaten me. And then, I was trash talking on the golf course, which, it's not really it's a polite sport, so you can't really do that. But I was trying to get in her head, And then senior year, hands down, she got me. I mean, I was proud. It was a proud moment.
That's great.
So, Candy, the term that's come up with everyone that I've spoken to all week long about yourself is she's legendary. She's got a legendary personality. Obviously, her self-deprecation is legendary.
Yep.
Apparently, her foot wedge can also might be a
without
little.
a doubt.
But what's really legendary is your promotion of female sports in this area for as long as you've done it, your dedication to the WCAC, and specifically being a mentor to all younger athletic directors, male and female in the area. I know because my sister told me that you're a mentor to her and you've been someone that she's always looked up to. So my question to you is this, why? Why give so much? What happened to you along the way that caused you to give of yourself this much to this place, your school, and your conference?
Yeah, Kevin, first of all, when this show's over, I'm coming after you for finding that picture.
Kevin was not in charge of photography.
It was
T. Strachan.
Tim Strachan. Tim Strachan pulled all the pictures.
The Matha guy got me. No, it's interesting. I shared this story, I think, once with Ken, but Elizabeth Seton High School was a tremendous foundation for me, and the coaches and teachers that I had. And I was fortunate my parents made some sacrifices to be able to send me to Seton. And then I kind of went on, the career and college coaching took me in a different direction. But when it was all said and done, I remember calling my mom, and I remember saying, Mom, I'm not sure if this means I've made it or failed miserably in terms of my career, because I am going back to where I started. And she laughed on the phone. Because she lives out of the state. She laughed and she said, I knew you would go back there at some point. And she was not surprised at all. So Seton gave me so much when we had the opportunity, when I was approached by Nancy Hernick, who's my boss now, and she was a teacher of mine. She's a great mentor and supporter. She asked about me coming back, and Seton we were getting ready to take on some things, and man, I got offered a job at another school. We're not going to talk about which one, but the heart, it pulled me back. Seton pulled me back. And I really just hope that I'm helping, and helping mentor some of these young kids and the coaches. That's the cool thing. You get to mentor young coaches and you remember how crazy you were early on in your career, and you kind of watch them, and then you wait for them to come to you, and then you give them a little input, and you hope it makes sense. So it's an unbelievable job. I get more from these student athletes than they get from me, I assure you.
That's awesome. My dad will tell you I could have used a ton of your help years and years ago. But if you did help me then, we wouldn't be talking now.
That's true.
So, and speaking of fathers, we got to talk about yours. If we want to talk about old school legends in this conference, I mean, he's one of the first, if not the first All-American in DeMatha basketball history, the legendary Ernie Cage. I mean, holy moly. I can sit here and go all day, but, you know, I think people would rather hear a little bit about him from you tonight.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you saying that. He was a legend in his own mind as well. But I will tell you, you know, Coach Wooten would tell you if he was still here. Of course, we lost my dad way too early. You know, they always the good guys, right? But Coach would tell you to this day he was the greatest pure shooter he ever had. But, you know, I didn't have a first name for probably the first 30 years of my life. It was just Little Cage, you know. Oh, that's Ernie's daughter. That's Cage, that, you know, whatever. And I was perfectly fine with that. He was a great guy, and he loved officiating, and he loved being with the kids. And, you know, that was the cool thing. During timeouts, he'd be officiating a basketball game, guys, and it didn't matter what level it was. He brought it, whether it was, you know, a high school game or a major Division I college game. But during timeouts during a high school game, he'd look up in the stands and find one of the students, and he'd say, "I bet I'll make 10 straight." And they'd be like, you know, giving him a hard time. And he would just shoot, you know, 3-pointers, 10 in a row. And the high school kids were like, what the heck is this guy with the flat top doing? He's a great shooter, you know. He was a character. Miss him every day, and I know that's one of the reasons why I went into this profession. He was a good guy. But DeMatha, you know, Coach Wooten, and you know, I was very fortunate to be around all of those really good people. And your dad, I mean, my dad and your dad, oh my gosh, they would tell stories. I'm telling you,
I was lucky enough.
Guys.
I was lucky enough to hear a couple today, and you know, my dad's been known to tell, and every now and then, possibly.
Sure.
Is it true? He gets to Mount St. Mary's. He makes 48 consecutive free throws. He gets poked in the eye and goes to the stripe, misses 49, and apologizes to the head coach.
Yeah, no, listen, Coach Phelan told me that was true. You know, I coached at the Mount.
I love it.
Phelan, his office was right next to mine. And by the way, you talk about he's a Hall of Famer. He used to steal my sandwiches at lunch. But anyway, Coach Phelan said it was true. But really quick, I want to tell you this because, Kevin, you'll love this. The Mount was playing, I want to say it was Loyola, or it might have been Fairfield. It doesn't matter. Anyway, the Fairfield, let's say it was Fairfield. No, we'll use Loyola because that's Ken's alma mater.
There you go.
And the Loyola head men's coach was coming down. This was in the old hangar before they built Knott Arena. Anyway, the coach was coming in. The Loyola coach was coming in to work the game. And he's walking in the tunnel to get to the court. And he looks up and he sees my dad in the Mount, your uniform, Mount Hall of Fame, greatest shooter. And he gets out on the court and he goes, I'm pretty sure I just saw that referee on the wall. He told his assistants, hell, we're in trouble. You know, so my dad was, you know, he was always officiating in games, and people were always, you know, kind of giving him a hard time because of his DeMatha connections and his Mount St. Mary's. He played for Coach Phelan. He played for Morgan. Are you kidding me? I mean, that's unbelievable. But yeah, good. I mean, we could tell stories all night. It would.
I believe you are correct.
I got nowhere else to go.
I mean, Jim Phelan stole your sandwiches. Morgan had a nickname for you. You know, I mean, we could go all night.
They were legends. I mean, you guys, one time, Coach Wooten, I got to tell this really quick. Do I have time?
You have plenty of time.
Trust me.
So his granddaughter played for Seton. All his daughters, granddaughters, you know, his granddaughter went to Seton. Anyway, Kirsten played field hockey. So Coach and his wife, Carol, you know, they'd come up to Seton's field with their little chairs and their little waters. And it's Coach Wooten, right? So I'm like way down the other end of the field. And he looks over and he's like, Candy. And he he does this. I run, because it's Coach Wooten. I sprint over there. I get down. He goes, "Do you understand anything about this game?" He said it even, what he said. Because he was supporting his granddaughter. He's watching field hockey, and he's like, "Why did they throw the ball out of bounds and get it back? I don't really get it. I'm just here to support my granddaughter." And I was laughing. He was a character. Man, he was a character.
Well, he wanted to figure out how to become the greatest field hockey coach of all time that afternoon. People wired like that can't think different.
He was just so funny. But yeah, a lot of crossover. This league, I mean, the athletic directors and the coaches and a lot of people come back, and I think that's a great foundation. But make no mistake, when you recruit all over the country, college coaches will tell you it's top 5 in the country for high school sports, no question, hands down. And you guys know that.
So,
Oh yeah. And
I'm very fortunate and blessed to be, to have a job at Seton. So.
Well, you said it before, Candy. I mean, there's conferences in this country that have a few good boys programs. There's a couple girls schools here and there, but when you stack all the sports in a row, boys side, girls side, there's not a single conference in the nation that brings it the way the WCAC does. And coaches would be fools not to spend as much time as they could possibly spend trying their darndest to get these athletes.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It is incredible. And I will tell you, working at an all-girls school, sometimes kids don't want to go that direction. But it's interesting, as much as I love sports and I love football, every dime I have goes to my girls. And you guys are parents, right? And it's interesting when we're playing, DeMatha's playing, and so a lot of times, they're traveling or whatever, but we're the only ticket in town. And I don't know why more parents don't think about that, because the spirit at Seton is amazing. And you know how it is. A lot of times the girls' games sometimes they don't have as many people. Now, I know we have some quality programs, but the fan thing is a big thing at Seton, and the student support, because we're the only ticket in town. So that's a really cool thing. And I get to spend all the money on the girls, and our turf field is for my girls, and the gym, the girls get the gym. It's kind of a cool thing. So I'm hoping more families will consider, especially if they have young daughters that that are smart kids and play sports. I'd love to show them around Elizabeth Seton High School.
I was going to say, it's kind of a cool AD, and everyone's kind of getting to see that here tonight.
Yeah, I think people are going to give it a first, second, and third look just after this. But not to mention, you get to play for, and I got to meet them personally. Your staff, all those amazing coaches, they get to go to a great school. And if you think you can cut it, if you think you got the chops to play ball, why not go to Elizabeth Seton and get a chance to play against all those other schools where people are going to be watching you. No one's going to miss you. If you put on the Roadrunner uniform on a weekly basis, nightly basis, you're going to get looks. You're going to get seen. You're going to get recruited.
I mean, Gatorade just stole our all-first team, took one from each section of our conference and made them the National Player of the Year. I mean, Regina Walton knows.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what it is around here.
The players are amazing. I always would love to see, take our top 7 girls and on the boys side and just, like old days when you could have all-star, when you could have those types of games. I would be hard-pressed to find people that could beat our league with our top players.
Coach Cage, if we go barnstorming, you're running the front side. She's on the bench. We are on the mics. I'm telling you, let's go have a ball.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me. This is awesome, and I really do. I know you guys have a lot of people. There's big-time people to talk to, so I appreciate you guys having me on and giving Seton a little love tonight.
Well, I'm not going to let you go without asking you a Loyola question. Obviously. I just want to ask you about – what's that? Yeah, we have to at least touch on it because it's going to be it's on your resume. It's got a place in your heart. It's obviously got a place in my heart. met my wife there. I had a great time there, but at the same time, a Catholic institution, another opportunity for kids to get a good education, but also can play high-level ball for quality coaches, as you can see on screen. So just tell me a little bit about your time there. What do you take with you from that experience, and how has it helped, and maybe in corporation with some of those other jobs, how has it helped guide the way you put together your program at Seton?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. I was really fortunate, Ken, because I coached at the Mount, which was, small Division I, tiny little place, which is amazing because everywhere you go, someone went to the Mount, which I never could figure out because it's tiny, but everybody went to school there. Then I was very fortunate, and I was in the ACC at Georgia Tech. Tons of everything, facilities, coaches, assistants, video people. Like I had I had more staff than we had players, it was crazy, but super fun, and learned, that. And then settled in at Loyola, which brought me back home. I was very fortunate. Joe Boylan and Father Ridley at the time gave me an opportunity, and it was considered a mid-major. But the facilities, it's a lacrosse. It was lacrosse. And so I learned quickly. Like I took that job, Ken, and I was like, go lacrosse. Like I knew that, basketball was second on the list, and it was, it was small, and it kind of equates to like the whole Seton feeling. It's like a family atmosphere. My girls traveled with the girls lacrosse team when they would always be going to the national championship or the Final Four. Charlie Toomey was there, Coach Toomey, Loyola winning a championship. It was just a small school. And like you said, they would tell us, you're going to meet your spouse there, so you should reserve that beautiful chapel. It was that kind of special place. And I just think, I've been around Catholic schools my whole life, and, that service piece, and just, I don't know, the faith piece, and just the sportsmanship, that is definitely something that we had at Loyola, the Mount, even Georgia Tech, and it's been good for me to help, because I have kids from all over different backgrounds, and that's a good thing. But Loyola was such a beautiful campus. God,
it sure was. It sure was.
She's playing soccer there now. She's Shay Carroll. She's playing soccer there, and they just hired a new women's basketball coach.
Yep.
And I'm so old that I recruited Danny. I recruited her, and so I know she'll be back in our gym soon. So I'm wishing her luck, and hopefully we can send her a player down to Loyola, to be a Greyhound.
Well, I hope it comes through on the screen. Everyone gets a sense of the person that all those institutions got, all the way from Northern to the Mount to Georgia Tech to Loyola, and it all started at Elizabeth Seton at a still undisclosed year. But there she is, through and through, road runner.
Guys. It was big hair. It was the big hair it was in.
That is awesome. Candace Cage, it has been an obvious pleasure for us to get a chance to get to know you better. But I say this, and it's the thing that everyone says, and I hate it because I want this to be true. We've got to play golf together. We said this when the golf courses were closed, but now they're open. We got to get out there. I know this guy. We just need to find one other person, me and you versus him and whoever. I don't care who his teammate is. We got this.
Don't bring me another St. John's guy, Kevin. Just give me somebody else. Don't bring me another St. John's guy.
My sister Jamie's the only member of my family that doesn't play. I think this sounds like the first time for her to get out and about.
Perfect.
Jamie, let's get Jamie out. We can play a little best ball scramble. I'm in.
I think it's perfect. I think it's perfect.
Thank you, guys. It was a lot of fun. I really appreciate. Thank you so much.
All right, Candy. Thank you for your time.
Awesome.
We will see you very soon. Appreciate you and all that you do, and have a great rest of your Tuesday night.
Thank you, Candy.
Yeah, First Amendment Sports, and go Road Runners.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Oh, man. She is awesome. I tell you, it's like the first time you meet her, it's like that person who you feel you've known for, your whole life.
Yeah, it's like telling topper stories. If we go off to college and talk about your conference or what conference you were in New Jersey, New York, California, Florida, you start putting characters and personalities and stacking them. Just the people we've talked to over the last year. Come on, man.
I know.
Candy Cage, that should be episode 1, volume 1 of a long-running season. She's a natural. She's gonna be sitting here next. She's gonna be taking my spot in no time. I can feel it.
That's actually pretty good thinking.
I figured I'd get out ahead of that one.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Now you get a producer credit.
Yep.
It's going to be great.
I knew you'd butter me up at the end, right? Yeah.
The candy store. I don't know.
Man.
We get the title. We'll have to think of the title.
Just take it easy.
Sorry. I don't know what's going to be the candy jar. We'll figure it out. We're going to figure this out.
Well, she's a ton of fun. What passion, personality. What a great personality. That's just so much fun. We haven't gotten out and about in a year and a half. Things are starting to open up a little bit. You get to see someone like Candy Cage and how she looks at it. All she does is give back, and that's amazing.
So many families in Bladensburg are better off and appreciative of her. That is for certain.
Yeah, man.
Like so many of the people we've had a chance to talk to this school year, we are going to be kind of wrapping up a school year here in the next week or two to close out June in the WCAC coverage. We will definitely keep it going. We will figure out a way to cover this conference throughout the summer in some way, shape, or form, and get you ready for the fall. But it has been awesome. We do have a guest lined up for next Tuesday. I didn't get the confirmation from him. I was waiting for it to come through. I wanted to be able to tell you for sure who it was going to be. We'll get that announcement out here ASAP. We're missing our main man T, who is on an excused PTO this week, and we hope he's tuning in tonight. Him from my sister school, obviously. We hope he's having a good vacation. But until next week, until his return, please enjoy the beginning of the summer. Enjoy those cicadas as long as you can. Get it in. It's going to be 17 years. Of course, we'll still be
Don't
here.
eat them if you have a shrimp allergy. You will break out.
Is that true?
Yes, that's true.
Luke, that could be Dusty's problem. He might have a shrimp allergy. We're good. Kevin, where have you been?
Listen.
All right. Okay. We're gonna get back to the bottom of this. Till next week. He's Kevin Ricca.
Yeah, that was awesome. I loved having that conversation. I knew it'd be high energy, and it was. She just brings the fun. Thank you, Candy Cage.
I want to say thank you once again to our guests tonight, Candy Cage, Athletic Director Elizabeth Seaton, to the whole Seaton community. Great job in a tough spot this year. I want to say thank you to Luke and Kyle, making us look good, handling things on the backside tonight. Until next week, I'm Ken Marangolo, and on behalf of First Amendment Sports, this was the WCAC Spectacular. Subscribe for free. Hit the bell.
Thanks for watching.
Appreciate you.